An 18-year-old girl on the streets of Accra is pregnant to a 19-year-old boy in Accra, also on the streets. She wants an abortion, but the boy's cultural background does not allow for abortion. The lady insists she wants to go to school, and so she wants an abortion. Who has the right to decide? Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of You versus the Social Worker, a podcast where we examine society's most challenging yet realistic social issues through the lens of social work, human rights, and professional practice. Today, our discussion is titled Abortion in Ghana. When rights collide, who should decide? Now, this topic is a very debated one across the whole nation that we have not been able to come to a single conclusion on the merits and dismerits of abortion. Joining me today for this insightful discussion, we have on my extreme left, Miss Emanuela Yao Angie. Then, to my immediate left, we have Miss Efia Konedu. To my right, immediate, I have Miss Frances Nyako. Then to our special guest, who happens to be a paralegal and a national advocate, youth advocate for employment and other social issues, we have Mr. Ebenezer Ni Kwate Korti. Okay, now let's get into it. We want to define our terms. We've spoken up and then reproductive rights. Ms. Efia, help us define these terms.
Okay, so abortion is the intentional termination of a pregnancy before fetus and childbirth. So we have two forms of abortion. That's spontaneous abortion and then induced abortion. So spontaneous abortion is the natural loss of pregnancy, right? That's the miscarriage, right? It's not planned, right? And it can be, this thing can happen unintentionally through menstrual cramps or overbleeding. And then the induced is the intentional loss in pregnancy. That's when a mother intentionally terminates her pregnancy. That's the induced pregnancy, and that's what we will be talking about today.
Okay. All right, that's very correct. So I think today the focus is on induced abortion.
Yeah.
Right, let me come to Frances. Tell me about the social issues that surround abortion.
So, abortion could be taken as a social phenomenon. There are lots of social issues surrounding abortion, such of which are poverty, teenage pregnancy, and so many others. So, I'll zoom into some of the cultural values or cultural aspects of abortion. So, Ghana is deeply rooted in cultural values, such as the sanctity of life, which states that every life is sacred and under no circumstance should a life be terminated. Our council here will be taking us through some of the exceptionalities in relation to the law when it comes to abortion. But then these cultural values say that under no circumstance should abortion be done. Secondly, one social challenge that leads to abortion is the silence surrounding reproductive health or conversations about reproductive health. So this is the case whereby in our societies today, we see talks about reproductive health as a taboo. Mothers don't even want to open up to talk about sex with their children, right? They don't talk about contraceptions. That's when they get involved in sex or when they even get pregnant.
It's a taboo.
They don't let them, it's a taboo.
Yes,
so they don't even let them know that there's something called contraception, which you can take after sex to prevent what? Unintended pregnancies, right? So these are some of the social issues and cultural issues surrounding abortion.
Right, so Mr. Ni Kwate Korti.
That's correct.
She has walked us through the social issues, which I believe there are numerous ones. We'll dive into them when we talk about our case study. Please walk us through the legalities, especially of abortion, because many of us in the country, or Ghanaians as a whole, believe that abortion is completely illegal. Tell us about that. What does the law say?
All right, thank you so much. It is an honor to be here as well. When it comes to abortion in Ghana, the position of the law is that abortion is illegal.
Right.
But this illegality is not absolute, in the sense that the law creates exceptions or circumstances or occurrence where abortion can also be legal. But the general position of the law is that abortion is illegal. That is the position of the law. But these exceptions are instances, if you look at the PNDC Law 102 that has come to amend the provision under Section 58, 59 of Act 29. It is to the effect that in an instance where the pregnancy will risk the health of the pregnant woman, then the law allows for lawful abortion. That is even limited to an accredited health facility, a medical practitioner in a government hospital, or one in a private clinic.
Right.
But it's all centered on a certified medical practitioner to carry out such action. It also includes not just the risks involved in a pregnancy, but also in a case of incest, rape, or defilement. The law allows for that. So the female in question can consent for lawful abortion, or a person in locus parentis of that particular female can also give consent to that. Then lastly is where there is going to be abnormality, fatal abnormality on the side of the child. So the child in question, if the child should come to this very world, but yet going to face a lot of complications or health-wise, or going to have a lot of abnormalities, then the law also allows for lawful abortion. So the risks like this I was talking about, we have a situation of ectopic pregnancy. So in such case, the law allows for lawful abortion.
I'm going to come right back to you. But before that, Miss Emanuela, we want to talk about the rights surrounding abortion. When we talk about abortion, what rights or what principles come to play?
Alright, with some of the rights that are in relation to abortion, we have right to life. The right to life, it states that every individual has right to live, including a woman who is pregnant and maybe she has some health risks with the pregnancy, so she has a right to be alive. And then we have body autonomy. So with that too, in relation to abortion, the pregnant woman has the right to a body, and then we also have the interest of the individual. So with that too, one has a right to do what
They want to do with their lives.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will see that there are so many rights at play over here, and that brings also a lot of ethical issues, because you spoke about life, and we are looking at the life of the child or the life of the mother vis-a-vis, and then we are also looking at the choice, the chance of bodily autonomy. I can do whatever I want with my body, and this child you are talking about is living within me. So anyways, let's get back to our case study, right? Okay. We have an 18-year-old girl who is on the streets, no parents. She's pregnant for one Kaya boy in Accra. As social worker, she comes to you. She's saving for school. She wants to go to school, and she wants to have an abortion. Ifya, what are you telling this girl?
Okay, so first of all, I will speak to the girl, the 18-year-old girl, and then I'll give her some options. So as a social worker, I work with NGOs, and then we have foster care, foster home. So I will ask her if she would like to give birth, then we will give the child to a foster home. Or I would rather link her up to an NGO.
I want us to stay on that. She will give birth, and then you will take the child for a foster care. That's an option.
Yeah.
That's one option, which I will totally I would disagree in the case of a girl, because how would you want to put me through all of that stress just to take my child away from me? I don't think any mother wants to do that, and that's the main reason she wants the abortion. Eben, you want to say something?
Yeah, you see, I'm here to talk about the position of the law.
Right.
So, with this scenario you've given, and you saying that you don't want to go through that stress,
right?
And impliedly, you are trying to say that trying to escape the stress, you want to terminate the pregnancy.
Exactly.
Am I correct? But you should know that the law concerning abortion in Ghana seeks to protect the fetus and the mother.
Right.
So clearly, I would say the provisions under 58, Section 58, seeks to protect the fetus. And the provisions, the subsequent provisions, as amended by PNDC Law 102, seeks to protect the mother. So, in my view, when you don't want to go through that stress, you cannot just stand up to say that I will terminate it, except when you fall under those exceptions created by law. So that's what I want to say.
And that is the problem I have with this law, because I think the law has focused on just those circumstances, right, that are not really practical to us as social workers, because the kind of cases that come to us are dark social cases. So who exactly are we protecting? The fetus or the mother?
You see, our laws are premised on culture and morality.
Right.
And Ghana is predominantly occupied by Christians and Muslims, whose value and culture frowns on some of these acts, including abortion we are talking about.
Exactly.
So laws are made to protect our values as well, and preserve our cultures as well.
Right.
So that is it. It is basically to protect the fetus, because that is life you are destroying.
What provisions is the law making for children in this scenario? Let's call her Amma. She has the right to have a child, right? Now, the child who is being born also has the right to be protected, also has the right to be properly cared for. And the Kaya on the street and the Kaya boy know that they cannot protect this child, even through the entire period of pregnancy. Talk more of birth. So, Frances, as a social worker, what are you doing about this?
So in this case, since our council here has made us know that there's no legal provision for such a woman and such a child, over here everything boils down to the social worker. So you tell me she's a Kaya, right?
Correct.
So first of all, as a social worker, I would assess her situation to rather get to know her main problem. So she may meet me and say, I'm poor, I'm on the streets, I barely can fend for myself. But then it could be that her parents have sacked her from the house due to her pregnancy.
She's on the street.
But she's on the streets.
No parent at all.
No parents at all. But you will never know till you ask her.
So what exactly are you doing in the assessment? We want practical solutions.
Good. So
what are you doing?
so these are the practical solutions.
Right.
So if such a person should come to the office, I'm telling you what we do as social workers.
Assessment is not.
I am coming there.
Right.
So as social workers, we follow a process, and the assessment is the first step.
Right.
We can't do anything without assessing the situation.
Okay.
So we would move to her, try to find out, her problem, try to find out her needs, and what even led her on the streets in the first place.
Then what happens from there?
From there, assuming she says she's from Tamale, right, the northern region of Ghana, and she used to live with her family, and because she got pregnant, they sacked her out of the house, out of the family house.
No, and I am giving you, it's like you are changing the scenario.
I'm not changing the scenario. Here you said, this lady doesn't have parents, to the best of your knowledge.
Right.
Right. But in this case, during our assessments, we could find out that she has a family somewhere.
That is an assumption you are introducing to the argument.
Okay.
Do you understand? Let's stick to it. There is no family.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Now let's go to Ella and I'll come back to you. Ella, tell me, what do we do with such a case?
Okay, so with such a case, I'll look out for the best interests of the lady.
Of the lady?
Yes.
Or the child? Just to be sure. Of the lady. Okay.
Of the lady.
Okay.
Yeah, because she is the one who has come with an issue.
And she wants an abortion.
Yeah.
So let's do the abortion for her.
Yes.
So let's give her the abortion because she asked for
but before the abortion,
Okay,
I'll
bring
make sure she goes for medical checkup to see that if she will be able to do the abortion without any problem. Yeah.
Well, I think now there are a lot of safe abortions. The problem is, would a doctor, a legal doctor, a legally certified doctor, grant an abortion just because the girl doesn't want to keep the thing?
I disagree with what Miss Ella is saying here, in the sense that the fact was limited to a situation where she is not facing any medical conditions.
Yes, and she doesn't have any
Yes,
medical
and in that
conditions.
case, it means that abortion is going to be unlawful. And with the fact given, she wasn't raped.
Not at all.
Nothing like incest was communicated here. So it doesn't really fall within the remit of the exceptions created by law.
Yes, but socially speaking, she does not have what it takes to keep a child. She does not have what it takes. She's pregnant, for crying out loud, and she's on the streets. She does not have what it takes to protect the child that is within her. So if you are saying the fetus has the right to life, how about her right to be protected and to be given at least a sane place to stay when she's born?
I think this question, our social
Now
worker,
the social
our
workers.
will tell us.
So do you know what you've done? You
No.
bound me.
I've not bound you.
You are
This is a
bound me.
practical situation.
It's a practical
in our
situation.
social welfare offices.
It's a practical situation.
Yes.
But you see, in every situation we feel is practical, there's always a solution. And the solution starts from somewhere.
You are talking us through
So that is why, yes,
the
so I was
bureaucracy.
still...
If I want an abortion is safe or safest within a period of time. Do you understand? Between maybe first 2-3 weeks, I can't have a safe abortion. If I find that I'm pregnant and you are now coming to go through, then your processes are going to give lower chances to ability to have an abortion.
It may sound like a process, but me meeting her one-on-one to get to know what she actually needs could take a day.
What happens when you find out what she needs?
So based on that, I'll know what to do.
What are you?
So that is why I'm giving an instance and you are telling me that I can't assume.
So are you telling us that you find out what the lady needs and you provide her needs for her?
Exactly.
Do you have what it takes as a social welfare office to provide those things?
So as a social welfare office, practically speaking, we have low funding.
Great.
But with the qualifications I have and with some of the skills I have, I could work around it to link her up to resources, which is very much possible.
Frances, you are telling me that if ladies, and this is not a single, this is one of the numerous cases, do you have what it takes as a country or as so many social welfare officers to deal with all of these cases, to fund and then take care of both the pregnant mother through her lactation, through her birth? Do you have what it takes?
Okay. So I want to say something before I start this.
Okay.
Personally, not even personally, but as a country, there are lots of situations we've handled at the office like this before.
Okay.
So many.
Right.
So many. Right. And when we were handling those countless situations, funding problems were still there.
Okay.
But we still found our way around it. And that's what I'm making you know, or I'm letting you know, that when such situations come, one most important thing we do is to link them up to organizations, because there are so many organizations that most of us don't know exists. But they are there.
I was going to introduce another aspect of the situation that I think we have ignored, but I think our time. But still, I'm interested. There's a man in the situation. There is a man who we are not talking about. The man's cultural beliefs do not allow for abortion. How do we reconcile that?
So in this case, the woman wants it.
Yes.
But the man doesn't want it. We get to know that pregnancy is a result of two things meeting: the eggs and what? The sperm.
Yes.
So, yes. So that is to say that in as much as the baby is growing in the womb of this woman, she doesn't have the absolute right to make the decisions concerning what happens to the child.
So, if the man doesn't want it,
and the man is ready and able, those are the two words.
The
He is
man
willing,
is ready but
and
unable.
He is ready but unable.
Unable. He can barely feed himself.
And there's a
Give us
saying that
motivational
it's
speeches.
only the death that don't have hope.
But
once he's willing to keep the baby, then it means that he's willing to actually keep the baby financially and in every way.
Well, let's not drag this much.
And assuming this case even comes to court, the man will not really have much to say because...
I will say some for the man, not because I'm a male.
Okay.
But I will say some for the man because even in as much as he's not in a capacity to take responsibility after childbirth at the moment, one, we need to make this clear. The law frowns on this particular act, abortion.
Okay.
And the lady does not fall within the ambits of the exceptions created by law.
All right.
So I believe that it is our social centers that must be strengthened. Allocation of funds, even if it is bringing up tax policies to support and grow our social centers, it makes a lot of sense. So I support the man because of this.
So
that brings us to the reforms that we want to suggest.
Before then, I have this. There was this case in the office one time. The man and the woman sincerely had nothing. They had no money, right? So we had to connect them to organizations to help them. And the law also permits that, or the law says that the man will not be forced to take care of a pregnancy. That is even his.
He will not be forced.
He will not be forced.
Okay.
Because he has the right to be dignified as a human being. And he has the right to continue to live as a comfortable human being.
Okay.
So in this case, the law will try to see how much he's bringing to the table.
And then what happens to the rest?
And if he doesn't have at all, so that's why social welfare officers are there.
That is, you see, we keep coming to that.
They connect
We keep
us.
coming to the social welfare, and we know that practically speaking, the state has not made, or there are no resources to actually help.
So that is what I'm telling you, that yes, the state hasn't made provisions though, but personally and as a country, a lot of cases like this have been handled.
So all the other people, what we are telling them is that come to the social welfare office.
Yes.
And you have whatever it takes.
Exactly.
After that, you are going to drop your contacts, because I'm sure our viewers would love to call you.
No problem.
Yes. Now, if you walk us through it, what do you think we can do to create change in the system?
Okay, so I think that the government can strengthen social welfare because, today's Ghana, people don't know a lot about social welfare to the extent that when you tell them that you are a social welfare officer, they are like, what is it? So I think the best thing to do is for the government to strengthen social workers so that people get to know about social workers and what we do, so that in case a girl wants to have an abortion, they can bring it to social welfare.
Okay.
And social welfare can help out instead of
Going for an abortion.
or illegally going
Alright.
for abortion.
So what we want to tell viewers is that there is a social welfare office that is ready and able to help you with so many of these complex social issues. Emanuela, what do you think we can do?
All right, I think we should also introduce public awareness for the public,
Right.
like for people in the community to, or people in the society to know that abortion and reproductive health can have laws. So
Right.
because there are some people who don't even know that
right.
abortion is legal in some states.
Right. Yes. So now talking about that abortion too, that education part, I would want to say this, which I think is very sensitive, but let me say it anyways. And this is to our girls out there. Please, we would want you to know that as much as we are going to help, and as much as we are going to help the men also take responsibility, oftentimes and realistically speaking, the burden of sex lies on the woman. Like the case like this, you both had a good time. It was not rape, it was not forced, it was consented. But now you will have to deal with everything that has to do with the pregnancy. You will have to carry the 9 months. And even if this man supported in the littlest form, you are the mother. And whether we accept it or not, the burden still lies on you. So again, I'm telling you something right from my professor's mouth. He says, make sure you are sleeping with reasonable men, and whatever man you are going for, make sure he's responsible enough to help you take care of the baby.
Players are very
Anyways,
responsible.
it has been a very interesting conversation around here today. And then one thing to take note is that this issue of abortion is really not about what is right and whether or not it's wrong. And it's also not as simple as we say. So we can't conclusively say that it is totally good or bad. But what we can say is that there are so many factors that come to play in issues like this, both social, psychological, emotional, and even cultural issues. And so this is episode 1 of Abortion Rights in Ghana. On episode 2, we are going to bring a medical doctor to tell us the medical aspects of abortion and then what he also thinks. Thank you very much, and please make sure you like, comment, and ask all your questions in the comment section. Once again, my name is Annie Makafu Badabo, and I'm the facilitator for the show. Thank you very much.